Hey there guys, it's Rick USA here with AirgunWeb and AirgunWeb TV. And today, we may be looking at the absolute best value on the market for a beginner's PCP airgun. So, right off the rip, we gotta say thank you to Umarex for sending us one of these units. Right now, they're actually hard to get hold of. So I've got just a little bit of a window to work with this gun. And I gotta say thank you because not a lot of people had a chance to really review it yet. I'm one of the lucky few. So this is the Umarex Origin. Now, I don't know if they thought of this in the name. I'm guessing they're pretty smart guys and they probably did. But when I think of my origin in PCP world, it goes way back to some guns that were expensive, hard to fill, all of the things that made PCP air guns kind of an unattainable air gun for a lot of shooters. Well, that changed. A company came out with a very affordable, about $400 price point air gun hand pump combination. That's awesome. That's what we needed for the industry. But that's kind of tired and old, and now we really needed something new. And I remember having some conversations, not saying they took my advice, but hey, you know, I'll take credit. Why not? I remember telling them, what you guys really need to do is you need to come up with an air gun that's awesome, but everything's in the box. The shooter doesn't have to go do anything. They can just take the air gun, fill it up. I mean, that's what you need. And that's exactly what they've done. They've taken a really solid PCP that's got some really cool tricks up its sleeve. We're gonna get to that here in a minute. And they bundled it with a hand pump. What they didn't include is a scope. And I wanna say thank you to Umarex because so many times companies throw a scope on a gun that we're just gonna toss in the trash. I mean, yeah, to get you started, but it's really not for air gunners. It's just something they put in the box. I'm so glad they didn't do that this time because it gave me the opportunity to work with the new Axion. Now, we've worked with the Axion scopes before, but they were just duplex. Not bad if you're just shooting at fixed distances, but if you want to hunt, let's say you really want a mil-dot scope, this is the new etched glass mil-dot reticle. It's awesome, super clear, super fine reticle. I'm able to just get on target and I can use my mil-dots to make whatever adjustments I need. It works great. This is a 4-16. It works great on this rifle. So I'm very glad I got to work with this rifle with this scope. So that's pretty awesome. So what makes this kind of like the best starter PCP airgun package you can get? Well, let's start with the gun itself. This is the new Origin. And what we've got here is a multi-shot PCP. Comes with two 10-shot magazines. It's fillable to 250 bar, which is like 3,400 and some change, 3,500 PSI. Really nice side lever, metal, fully adjustable trigger. You know, everything about this is pretty nice. It's got a really nice stock. So sometimes you'll see the stock is a little less than. While this is synthetic or plastic, it doesn't feel like cheap plastic. It actually feels like a nice synthetic rifle stock, which I'm very pleased to say. Under here is where you're gonna fill your gun. You got a little tab here. You've got a degassing area. You've got pressure, kind of a safety pressure valve in case it gets overfilled. And then that's the port you're gonna use right there with that little adapter to actually fill the gun. Now, here's what this thing has as its like secret weapon. So inside here, I don't know who thought of this, but it was absolutely brilliant. They've got a little gas ram somewhere in here. I don't know how they've done it. It was probably up here somewhere. And what happens is, as you put air in the gun, it's actually kind of boosting. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's boosting what you're doing. So normally, if I've got a PCP and I want to take one shot, I'm gonna have to put a bunch of strokes into the gun, probably 50 or 60, just to get up to my starting pressure. This gun, you can take a shot if you just want to take a shot with only 13 strokes. That gets you up over 1,000 PSI ready to take your first shot. I gotta say, that's pretty cool. Now, that's not the only thing this new gas piston system does for you. It actually acts sort of like a regulator in that you don't have like a gas regulator and a plenum here per se, but what you have is you have this constantly adding pressure to what's in there. So it makes the whole shot string that much more consistent. So like on a normally unregulated air gun, you've got this curve, goes up like this and it goes down like this. This starts like here and then it just gradually, ever so gradually goes up And then as you get sort of where it's getting to the end, then it falls off pretty quickly. But you're gonna get like 50 shots out of this with a full fill. Now, you can maybe push it to 60 if you're going by the gauge, but those last 10 shots are just gonna drop off the face of the earth. Now, what I would do if I was hand pumping this, and I've pumped this from dead empty to full, it's about 140 strokes. Now, when you get to the end, like if you're gonna go from that 3,000 to 3,400, I'm a big guy. You guys comment about how big I am, but I'm a big guy, and I gotta put all my weight into this to get it to compress. It's difficult to pump over that 3,000 PSI mark, at least for me. Maybe you guys won't have that issue, but I do. So hand pumping from dead empty to at 34 and some change, that's hard work. Now, up to 3,000, pretty easy. I can do that. You know, that's pretty manageable. And in reality, when I'm looking at the shot curve and I was watching my pressures as I was doing my chrony testing, really the sweet spot in this gun is like from like maybe 2,500 down to 1,500. You're gonna get about 25 to 30 shots there with like little to no spread. So you may have a 10 to 15 foot per second spread across 25 to 30 shots, and you don't have to pump as much. So to me, that's where this thing ought to live. But if you want to take it all the way up, you can. I probably would use like a personal compressor, which I can't wait for Umarex's Ready Air to come out, like jumping at the bit for that. That's gonna be like awesome. But if you want to hand pump, you got it right in the box. You don't got to go do anything other than put a little elbow grease in and you can go shooting. To me, that's awesome. Now, let's talk a little bit about the performance. So we're talking 50 shots, like from the first shot, and the way I do this, I know I'm dealing with a shot curve. Whatever my first shot is, like all the way full, I kind of shoot until it gets to where it's coming back to that point. So again, I've got this sort of a thing happening, like that. So in 50 shots, we had an extreme spread of about 70. Now, the very first shot was kind of low. It was like 898 or 880. I think it was 889 actually. And then I stopped at like 898. But it topped out at 950, and it lived at like 910 to 930, like a long time. So that's like your sweet spot. You shoot in there, you're not going to see hardly any change in your point of impact at 50 yards. And we'll get to accuracy in just a minute. But foot pounds, I'm shooting the JSB's 1589s. We're over 30 foot pounds, 31, 32. Let me see here. I got my, at the highest, let's see, we hit like 154. We're at 32 foot pounds. So if you're looking at about the average energy, what can you expect like across the bulk of your strings? It's like 28 to 30 foot pounds. So that's what this is doing. That's actually pretty stout. Now, another little trick this thing has up its sleeve is you can adjust the hammer tension here. So if you want to have a little more power, maybe a little less power, see how that changes your shot count, all that kind of stuff, you can do that without having to take the gun apart. That's also very cool. Make sure you use a chronograph because you don't know what your gun's doing unless you can actually measure it. Definitely get a chronograph if you're going to be tweaking that kind of stuff. So now let's go ahead and talk about accuracy. I got my target right here. Let me just grab it. So first of all, let me say this. Now, as I said, like right up front, and I'm one of the lucky few that I've gotten to get one of these early before they really hit the mainstream market. Now, I cannot wait to get like one I'm gonna like hold on to, but I didn't have a lot of time. So what you're seeing here is not like after it's been seasoned and I've fiddled with it. No, this is dead out of the box, guys. This is like out of the box, put the scope on it, took a couple practice shots the other day, and we sighted it and shot the video. That's what we've done, and this is what we're getting. No joke, okay? So this right here, this was my first shot. We brought it into center. That's just one magazine getting us on target. Now, this is my first 5-shot group, and guys, I can cover it with my thumb. So we're looking at like a nickel size group, and then this one here, again, you'll cover it with my thumb. Those are 2 5-shot groups, basically right out of the box at 50 yards. And it's a pretty nice day today. We do have a little bit of a breeze, but we're pushing 900 plus feet per second. So I don't know that the wind is really gonna be much of a factor today. Not this type of a breeze we got, but that out of the box, just not even really knowing the gun, that is awesome. Now, I've said it once, I said it twice, I'm gonna say it again. If you're wanting to get into the PCP world, this is the gun you want to get, period. If you're just starting out and you don't want to go dump thousands of dollars on a high-end PCP, this gun in the box, MSRP is about 400 bucks. Street price is about $350. So yeah, you're gonna have to put an optic on it, but you get to choose the optic you want to go with. You're not getting forced into some generic less than optic. Put a nice scope on it. It's worth the glass. So get a nice $200-300 scope, put it on here. You're gonna have a really nice airgun package. You're gonna get a lot of shots. You're gonna have a lot of fun. You're gonna have some great accuracy, great power. You can target shoot. You can go hunt small game with this. You can hunt raccoon with this. All of those things are on the table with this gun at an unbelievable entry point from UmarexUSA. They've done a tremendous job. This thing's awesome. Again, you've been looking to get into PCP air guns, look this thing up. It's what you want to get. Guys, that's it for now. My name's Rick Utzler. Thanks for watching.